Radiant Rising Worldwide World. I am Letitia Lovely, and I am so excited to be here on what I'm calling a pop-up for this magically melanated moon day, which is also a Sirius portal on this 777 777. That's right. It is a day to elevate and activate, to ground it so you can get from around it to glow it so you won't owe it, right? Y'all know I'm a poet and know it rhyme every time. I am presenting today an excerpt from yesterday's Radiant Rising Sunday Style. If you are not in the Zoom room for the sacred, private Radiant Risings, what you doing? What are you doing? Send an email to lovelylifetv, LOVELYLIFETV at gmail.com, and I will send you a link to this amazing group that meets every Sunday at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Yesterday, we were talking about the distractions and the extractions taken from what is recognized all over the United States as the 4th of July, and then the magic that's happening underneath it with the Sirius star. I hope you enjoy. I hope you will click on the subscription button, the like button, the share button, and I really hope that you will shoot me an email so I can send you a link to our Radiant Risings Sunday Styles. All right, lovelies, we are going to get on with the show, but first we got to get this intro. Let's go. So what I'm going to be sharing very quickly is or are the distractions and extractions behind the 4th of July. The esoteric or symbolic meaning behind America's Independence Day goes beyond the fireworks and patriotism. It can be viewed through various philosophical, spiritual, and occult lenses that explore deeper themes of freedom, transformation, and the human soul's journey. So, as the Sirius star comes in this year on July 2nd, is the general agreement. As the Sirius star comes in and aligns with Earth and shines its magnetic and majestic and magical energies into our atmosphere, y'all, for the divine purpose of giving the awakening souls our freedom, our sovereignty, our transformation, and a continued elevation and ascension of the human soul's journey. That is the divine feminine energy that we and our ancestors practiced during this time. So as I am sharing all of these points regarding the 4th of July, transform them, if you will, to that which is to be happening within ourselves. Okay? I mean, the inversion is crazy. So by signing this quote nation, this false fictitious corporation into being on the 4th of July, placed the birth sign, if you will, of the United States under the sign of Cancer, which is ruled by the moon. It represents emotion, home, ancestry, and the feminine principle, the divine feminine. It was a time where our ancestors recalibrated and realigned the divine masculine with the divine feminine and became balanced, became one. The United States was, quote, born under this sign. Instead of a destiny tied to nurturing, protection, and deep emotional currents, that's that mitochondrial connection, the energy was flipped to that of a masculine, military face of revolution. It is no accident. There's a lot of esoteric knowledge that was turned into sorcery or negative witchcraft, and the birth card for this day is the death card, which is not always a negative card. We do want to put to death those things that no longer serves us. We do want to experience a rebirth and a transformation into who we really are. However, when these energies and when this information is used negatively, it is a literal, which happens so often, it is taken to be a literal description, and the death becomes sacrifice to the satanic entity. That's flipped on its root. Instead of the rebirth and transformation of the Most High and the divine, it is flipped into literal death and destruction for the cause of the satanic usurper, the colonizer, right? Many of the key figures of the American Revolution, such as George Washington, and there's all kinds of questions on who actually the real George Washington is. Many believe that he is a brother. Shout out to Rod Hayes, who does a whole breakdown of all of that. Too much for me to go into, but if I find these links later, I will put them in the description when I upload this to YouTube. George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, another melanated so-called, Paul Revere, John Hancock, they were all Freemasons. We all know that Masonry comes from a Moorish science. That's our stuff, y'all. So we have to tread in a very interesting space when we talk about Freemasons and kind of poo-pooing their practices, which needs to be poo-pooed under the way they've inverted it and used it against us. But originally, those sciences and those, quote, secret societal knowledge practices were for our benefit. The Masonic ideas shaped the very conception of liberty, equality, and fraternity. The use of sacred geometry, numerology, and symbolism such as the all-seeing eye, the unfinished pyramid, the compass and the square in the Great Seal of the United States, and DC's physical layout reflect the esoteric blueprints for a new world order. Their new world. We were already here. We were already flourishing and thriving in our worlds of Lemuria and Atlantis and Wakanda, which is presented as a fictitious phenomenon, but in truth was how we were living. Taking that energy and inverting it to create their new world, which is our false construct. July 4th is a Masonic ritual. The Declaration of Independence was not just a political document, it was a kind of ritual proclamation similar to a Freemason's initiation into a higher degree. So just as the Mason is reborn from the symbolic death of his ego, America was reborn as a sovereign spiritual entity. But what spirit? Breaking from the old world of monarchy and spiritual repression. So they saw this big, bright world where the true ley lines and codes are for creation, and came over to do it here. And the irony is just, it's like, man, the nerve to say that they are fleeing spiritual repression, only to come over here, repress our true spirituality, and replace it with a religion that takes all of our magic, calls it wicked, right? So that they can continue using it, so that those that became indoctrinated as Christians stopped using it and adopted a lesser magic against them. That's some cold-blooded ish, man. that's some cold-blooded. We're gonna tell you that the spirit you're using is wrong. We're gonna take that power. We'll take that power, thank you very much, and we're gonna give you this magical looking power. We're going to give you this thing that looks like power, that is outside of yourself, that has all of these goals and rules and stipulations, that you might be able to get a little bit of the power if you're lucky, but it's outside of yourself, and mostly you probably won't, because you're in a cursed race. I mean, it's crazy when you really peel back the layers and know what we're looking at. The 13 colonies are symbolic of transformation. 13 again, the death and rebirth in the tarot. E pluribus unum, out of many one, again referring to the New World Order as instead of as above so below, the original meaning. The Hermetic unity, one behind the many. The one behind the many in esoteric divine feminine is the all, is the most high, is the source, right? Is the divine one, is spirit, is the I am that I am. In this new ideology, however, it's 13 families. It's this one concept that is being forced into some realities right now. All is mind and will are the highest spiritual faculties. The Declaration of Independence was an exercise of collective will to shape and bend a whole consciousness to a certain will, a magical act exerting that we hold these truths to be self-evident. Whose truths? This phrase echoes the Hermetic axiom, as above, so below. That which is true spiritually, human liberty, our liberty, is declared to be political liberty. So again, taking that which is meant for us individually, for what we're supposed to be focusing on to be in alignment with Sirius, to align our first eye, as Miles so eloquently spoke on, with the Sirius star, our inner star with the Sirius star. The colonizers took that power and aligned their political agendas with the Sirius star to take, so that they could use that power to construct their world, basically, so that we could power their world, because we are the sun, we are the melanin, we are the Sirius star. So basically, we had to be tricked, fooled, hoodwinked, and bamboozled, so that we would use our power to power their system. Okay, real quick, the Sun in Cancer, we talked about that. Which represents emotional sovereignty, protection of the homeland, maternal energy. There's Divine Mama again, except it was inverted to be patriarchal energy. The moon is in Aquarius, that is a public driven by ideals, collective change, and freedom. It's Sagittarius rising, which is expansion, global vision, philosophical missions. These placements positioned USA as a fake influence, created with the destiny to explore, to challenge tradition, and to initiate their spiritual lies, basically, on a global scale. And that is exactly what has happened until now, as we see all of that false construct that they created through this magic, y'all, through this July 4th magic, as we see it fall. Their idea was for a new Atlantis. Why would they talk about a new Atlantis over here? Because this is where the old Atlantis, this is where it was. Everything is flipped and inverted. This is the old world. thieves, often linked with Rosicrucians and early Freemason, they envisioned a utopia founded on their knowledge, enlightenment, and spiritual science. Not just a place, but a spiritual archetype, y'all. A laboratory for evolution, a land where truths hidden in the old world could be revealed. Our truths under their interpretation. A nation destined to pass through cycles of karma and awakening constantly, falling and rising like the phoenix. Just very quickly, this is what we are to be doing now. This time period, from July 2nd until the Lion's Gate on August 8th, is an initiation of the soul, a declaration that we are no longer bound by inherited belief systems, that we are sovereign beings aligned with higher self and divine law, that there is no master but truth. There is no master but the truth, which is coming out now. Everywhere, the truth. There is nothing hidden that will not be revealed in these seasons. July 4th symbolizes the awakening of individual sovereignty, not just freedom from a king, but from material bondage. This is what the Sirius star is helping us do, to detach ourselves, to free ourselves from this mental slavery and ignorance. The birth of a nation mirrors the initiation of the soul, declaring independence from lower instincts to live in alignment with higher principles. A yearly ritual commemorating not only independence, but the eternal struggle for spiritual rebirth and alignment with truth. Sirius acts as a gateway for DNA activation, light code downloads, higher spiritual vibrations, intuitive upgrades, chakra activations, healing and clearing of old emotional trauma. That's all that is available to us in this energetic portal. And we're getting ready. I'm talking about this today because it hits its apex on July 7th. So from now until July 7th, these are the things that we can be mindful of, that we can ask Divine Mama for clarification on, that we can be conscious is taking place within us. DNA activations, light code downloads, higher spiritual vibrations. We're getting intuitive upgrades. Pay attention to what your higher self is saying to you in these coming days. We're getting chakra activations and healing and clearing of old emotional traumas. This is happening to us collectively if we were paying attention. This is the time where we as a melanation could heal from the emotional traumas of this fake nation being thrust on us. This is our freedom time, but instead of us recognizing that it's our independence, we're using our power to continue the lie of a false independence. This is diabolical work. This is some dirty work. This event marks the beginning of a cosmic energy cycle that culminates on August 8th, which is an even more amplified portal. Talk more about that later. The Sirius Gateway, bottom line, is seen as the opening act to this transformational season. Last thing, and then we're going to get into this as a discussion, and I can't wait. Ways to realign and recalibrate. So what we're doing is we're going from you lie to we realign. We're going from you lie to we realign. Here's some things we can do. Engage with guided workshops or live circles. Meditate on the sun, or on the Sirius star. Visualize the crystalline frequencies integrating into your field. We did a bit of that with today's meditation. Journal and set intentions. I always encourage vision boards, beautiful to incorporate during this time. Focus on your healing. Do the shadow work. Focus on the upgrades that are taking place in your body. Focus on the manifestations you'd like to see between now and August 8th. Be mindful of the physical, emotional situations that are going on in your body. They are likely spiritual upgrades, DNA downloads. They are likely matters happening outside of your normal day-to-day existence. When you get emotional, for instance, it's probably relating to a deeper issue. It's probably relating to something below the surface. So we want to pay attention in this time. It's part of the energetic opening that is happening for us right now. Fast, ground, detox, play, sing, dance. Do those things that raise and keep your vibration high. And lastly, family. And thank you for, I just had to share all of this with you. Get ready for August 8th.